Do you want to create more convincing extractions in Photoshop? Let's face it, only the masters of Photoshop really know how to create convincing extractions that look real. And every time you try it, it just doesn't work. Well, that's because you don't know this simple master trick that I'm going to show you here in a few minutes. The number one reason that your extractions don't look like the pros is because they're either too harsh or too sharp or they're too soft, making your extractions look more like cutouts. Now let's get into Photoshop so I can show you what I mean and how you can quickly and easily create masterful extractions just like your favorite photographers. All right, so here we are in Photoshop, and if you want to become a master at extractions, it's really important, in my opinion, that you understand what a good extraction looks like and what a bad extraction looks like. So that's what we're going to do first, and then we're going to move in to our next image here, which is our Coke can. I want to extract our Coke can for another image that I'm working on as well. So we'll do that here in just a minute. But first, let's look at what a good extraction is. So this is the original image of me for my holiday card. And then this is the extraction that is too sharp. All right, so I'm going to zoom in so we can see what too sharp actually means. And I'm going to zoom in right there on my shoulder and hand. So basically, I'm going to zoom in really, really tight so we can just look at the shoulder and the hand. All right, so this is the shoulder and this is the hand. Now, it looks like it should be okay, but when we go to too soft, we see a big difference. All right, see a big difference between too sharp and too soft. And then when we go to our convincing extraction, it's happily right in the middle. Now that is a perfect extraction if you ask me. So here's the difference between too sharp and convincing. All right, so I'm going to zoom in even more and let's get into the pixels here. And when we're too sharp, we can actually see the individual pixels. And so that is a clear sign that this is an extraction, that this is someone who doesn't really understand how to masterfully extract an element from a photo. So this is convincing. This is too soft. You can see a very soft edge there. This is too sharp. You can see the pixels, how jaggedy that edge is there. And then we can go down to our convincing image and we can see a nice soft edge there. You can see pixels, but you see a nice soft edge there. So that's looking at what good versus bad is. All right, so let's see how we can create a convincing extraction in real life. All right, so this is our Coke can. I'm going to extract it first using my pen tool. I wouldn't generally use a pen tool on this extraction, but because I use a pen tool on just about every extraction I do, especially of people or characters, I'm going to use a pen tool now just so you can see the setting when we get ready to make our selection and extract. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this out, and I'll see you back when I am finished with that. All right, so here I have the pen tool all around our image. I'm going to go ahead and make the selection. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click in our selected area. I'm going to make a selection, and this is the key here on the feather radius. This is really important. If you keep it at 0, you're going to get that too sharp of edge. If you make it at 1.5 or 2, you're going to get too soft of an edge. So this is the key to creating a convincing extraction. All right, so you want to make that a 0.5 pixel radius, feather radius, and then you're going to click OK. And all right, so that is your perfect selection there. And when you go ahead and add a layer mask to it, you're going to have a very nice extraction with this image. All right, so let's go ahead and put a layer underneath it, and let's put a black underneath that.
And then you can see our nice extraction. All right, a nice, not too soft, not too hard edge. Now you put this in any image and it will look superb, barring that you have nice shadowing and shaping to the image or to this element within your image. All right, so now let's go ahead and copy that. I'm going to go ahead and look at what if you don't like the pen tool, or what if we use a different type of selecting method, say our magnetic lasso tool, or if we use our magic wand or quick selection. All right, so let's go ahead and look at that. I'm going to go ahead and load a selection. And in Coke, I already made the selection there. All right, so this is our selection, and this has no feathering or anything on it. So if I were to go ahead and extract it right now, which I'll do, we're going to get a very sharp edge on it, as you can see here. So you can see a huge difference between that extraction and that extraction. All right, so what do we do if this is what we have to work with? Well, there's a cool thing here up in properties, our feather element over here, and we can go ahead and bring that to a 0.5 feathering. And that right there, boom, gives you a nice extraction. In my opinion, not as good as the pen tool. I still like the pen tool better, but because this is an element that will be very small in the overall scene, it's not a huge deal that we get a little bit of imperfections in this, meaning these little, I don't know, little chinks there, or this little part here that's a little off. Not a huge deal, or this over here. And we can fix that if it is a huge deal. But I just wanted to show you how to create that feathering once you had the selection there. All right, or the layer mask on it. So let's go ahead. I'm going to show that one more time. And let's knock this down, delete it. And then I'm going to go to select, load my selection. And then I'm going to Coke. Boom, there's my selection. Add a layer mask. And that's too harsh. So we know that's too harsh. If we want this at 2, which a lot of people do, then it becomes way too soft. And you can really see it in this image right here. But if we knock this down to a 0.5, that's looking really good. We can even go maybe a 0.7 on this and still be very, very convincing. So you have a little bit of room to play with, but definitely not a 0 feathering, and definitely not a 1.5 or higher feathering. I wouldn't even go to 1 and higher. I would keep it within the 0.5 to 0.8 range if you want a nice convincing feathering of your extractions. And that, my friend, is how you create a masterful extraction.
So there you have it, easy peasy extractions that look as good as the masters. Now, if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you can get more tutorials just like this. And I'll see you on the next episode.